Good evening and salutations, my Y&R fans. The scene between Sally and Chloe, a lot of it was kind of stupid. Okay? I feel like in a lot of ways that if Chloe wasn't so blinded by her hatred towards Adam, when Sally told Chloe that Nick said that, he's in love with her, she would be able to see right through that. Because I'm just like, it came out of nowhere, right? And I feel like as a friend, you should want something more than than what you feel like she's getting. I also feel like Sally should want something more than what she's getting. It's like she is settling for Nick when in reality she knows that, Adam is a better choice. Because Adam will sit there and be in love with her. Well, Nick will sit there and love her. And there is a difference between loving and being in love with someone. Now, what I don't understand is that, they're sitting there talking about ideas or whatever and be like, oh, we should sit there and try to get Nick to invest. They run across Lily and Devon. And one of the things they were sitting there saying was, it's too bad we can't sit there and, do anything with Chancellor and Winters. Yet they pitched their idea, their design company, whatever, to them. And Lily and Devon said, yeah, listen, we want you to sit there and start as soon as you can. But I kind of thought that they couldn't really do anything with them because, Jill kind of put a stop to that. So why are they work? Why did they? Why did they accept Sally and Chloe's offer if they couldn't really do anything because Jill decided that she didn't want to work with them at the time? Doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. Maybe somebody in the comment section could sit there and feel that can make sense for can make that make sense to me. Um, Now I'm generally happy. Well, here's the thing. At first, it seemed like Sharon was not taking um the bottle of champagne thing seriously. How even Nick apologized when he was like, "Oh, well, maybe it's not blood, whatever, but it's a good thing that you threw it out." She got a postcard. When she got that postcard, she was like, "Oh, okay, this is real." And she realized it was somebody from her past, and not just anybody. What is this guy's name? I think his name is like Cameron or something like that. Cameron K. I forgot how you pronounce his last name, but Carmen. It's either Carmen or Cameron. Some dude from like way back before I clearly started watching the show. Um, let's just sit there and say it seemed like he did some really bad stuff to her, really messed her up psychologically and probably physically. But from what it sounds like, shouldn't this dude be like, I don't know, in jail or something like that? Whatever it was, it scared her enough to sit there and get a chance to sit there and look into it. Now, of course, Chance is sitting there talking to Christine about new evidence that they have and that there's a good possibility that Phyllis is alive. Now, of course, Phyllis and Summer are talking in the hotel, and I'm going to be honest, the majority of their conversation just like made my eyes roll. Like it was just kind of annoying because now she's Team Summer. I mean, now she's Team Phyllis. She's placating to Phyllis's BS of, oh, well, it was Stark that manipulated me. He saw my need for revenge and, he took advantage of me. And of course, Summer's like, yeah, yeah, that's exactly what he wound up doing. And I'm like, you weren't with that energy before. You were actually an adult about it. And now you're just like, oh, I don't want you. My whole thing is when it comes to us, Phyllis wasn't there saying that, you don't have to sit there and feel bad. You don't need to sit there and protect me. You don't need to sit there and take care of me. I need to be the one that's meant to taking care of you. Meaning that she's the adult. She's the parent in the situation. The problem is that the conversations, the arguments that they had before, it was like she was a teenager. in those situations. But now she's all like, "Oh well, you don't have to sit, you don't have to feel so bad. It was me, it was my fault, yada yada yada." And I'm like, "Oh, now you're having this epiphany. Now you realize that you're the adult in the situation." Okay, boom. Um, so I felt like a lot of the conversation was just somewhat of annoying. Hell, she did even sit there and say that, yeah, I was at the funeral and I need to sit there and see for myself, how much I actually really cared about me. And I'm like, so you sat there and you watched your children grief and, was in pain and crying and stuff like that just to see how much they actually cared about you? Does that seem like a stable parent to you? Or does that even seem like a stable person to you? Because I'm going to be honest, that just seems like vanity right there. I just want to make sure that you really cared about me. And I won. But at what cost? And Summer, you're just gonna placate to this delusional thinking at this point, right? Because that makes sense to you. Okay, I don't get it. I don't understand. Do not understand. Huh. Now, whoever this dude is, I don't remember. No, it wasn't actually in the previews. Well, it was actually in the previews. Um, when Chance was like, "I'm gonna sit there and check on this guy." This dude is already in General City. He is already there. And you see in the previews, she's sitting there talking to Faith, which I'm going to be honest, I kind of forgot she was a character for a hot minute. Now, here's the thing. For me, this seems like it's going to be interesting, right? You got this guy that seems like he's like stalking Sharon and he's back in town and all this other stuff. But I'm just like, I'm hoping it's not going to be a letdown like Jeremy Starks. Okay? I really do hope it's not going to be a letdown like Jeremy Starks because I felt like he was all talk and no action, right? Like he had to sit there and team up with Phyllis. He really didn't come across as too intimidating until towards the end. But by that time, it was just like, yep, Phyllis just took him down. I was like 200 something pounds. Phyllis was like what 120 something. Yeah, I can totally see that fight going her way. Um, so I'm just hoping this guy is not going to be a disappointment. I'm hoping that JT is not going to be a disappointment. He does seem like he kind of got that rugged look to him that I feel like the show desperately needs, but I guess time will sit there and tell. Anyway, I feel like that's pretty much about it. All in all, this episode was okay. Somehow it was actually still better than GH. I don't know how that happened. That's just a giant mystery to me. Um, Let me just make sure I didn't miss anything. Yeah, I feel like that's pretty much about it. I can't really think of anything that still wound up happening, but I usually do feel like I missed something like one or two or like five other things. So, with that being said, if I did miss anything, come to the live stream tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. I'll be sitting there going over all the soaps, B&B, YNR, GH, and Days. And I'd sit there and try to struggle with something going on GH because that was kind of a bad episode. But with that being said, come to a live stream tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, and hopefully I'll see you soon.